And what a good recap. That's awesome.
That was fun.
Yeah, just pack it all in there in about 1 minute. We could have done that, I guess.
That's what it'll be like in like 20 more years. We've condensed conferences down to 3 hours. You know, attention spans are going to continue to shrink and shrink. So
that might be our attention span.
Bite-sized conferences.
That's right.
That's what we're going to do.
It looked like Joe was the only one that needed makeup there in that video. He was the only one. He was the only one getting touched up.
They were. They'd already put all of our makeup on. They have to put makeup on me because it was shining off my head too much. They said it was creating a nasty glare. It was upsetting Quigley.
Yeah, I was actually trying to figure out, because when I went up there, I didn't need the makeup. So we must have different timbres. What's the word? You know, different texture timbres. To our domes.
Gotcha. Okay.
Brandon sometimes kind of looks like he kind of polished it a little bit. So
like this.
Yeah, a little buff.
A little buff it out. Yeah. I like it. It's funny to me, Casey, that we were down in Miami with a bunch of friends for celebrating some birthdays, and everybody was convinced that Quigley was CGI.
Yeah. Yep.
You guys don't think that we've got what it takes to be animal handlers, porcupine handlers?
Apparently not.
I booped the snoot.
Yeah.
You don't do that on CGI. It's cheating. Quigley was the real deal.
Yeah.
And you guys will have many opportunities to see Quigley soon. I was a little concerned though, Casey. You and Quigley weren't meshing right out of the gate. It's concerning to me because I have a feeling that the porcupine is going to be a fairly big part of our future moving forward. And I just want you to kind of get your act together a little bit. Again, when it's like you got starstruck and nervous.
I do that sometimes.
I think that, you know, from a leadership vantage point, the discretion and discipline, you know, what to share, who to share it with. I think you kind of violated. I was surprised that was you, Casey. You kind of violated some boundaries.
I was off my game. I was nervous. I was off my game. I'll try to get better.
You were concerned that you were about to get quilled.
Was
like when you're a kid, everybody thinks that a porcupine will just like bow up and shoot quills at you.
Not the case.
As it turns out, it's not the case. That's why dogs always come back when they're all like in their nose and all in their face and stuff, you know, but it's because they're fighting.
That's right.
Protecting themselves. Our Quigley, our porcupine is not a fighter, clearly a lover. So, man, we got some good stuff lined up for today. Let me go ahead and share my screen. Whoop. It's been a minute. You know what I mean?
That's right. Has been.
There we go. Since I've been on here, I think I still got what it takes. It's like an all-star cast on here. You seeing this? Delaney, Pogue, Hunt, Reinecke. This is going to be a good one. We used to talk so much more about 90-day blitzes. You would call it a 90-day Madman cycle. I specifically remember you 15 years ago saying, man, I can stand on my head for 90 days if it's going to give me the results I need. I don't think that you could stand on your head for 90 days, but I think it's a good visual, you know, maybe 90 minutes.
That's right.
Now, I'm going to say you can stand on your head for 90 seconds.
I'm going to try it if you want me to.
Yeah. Where is Pogue? Let me get Pogue or Delaney just real quick to pop in here. I like a really good kind of preview of the call.
Pogue and Delaney.
There we go.
Where you at, Brian? Hey, buddy.
How's it going there, Pogue?
I know who's leading this call. Go ahead, Pogue. You tell me.
How y'all doing, man? I am so fired up for Summit. That builders call was awesome. For those of you not jumping on that, you got to jump on that. But man, what a game changer, Brandon. I'm getting texts like crazy on Summit. People are just fired up, and I love how I'm getting texts knowing when people are going through it. It's just amazing. It's a game changer for this company.
I love it. Yeah, no, it's going to be awesome. So no better time than leaving a conference, coming out of a conference to really, and it's the perfect time because it's the first week of the month, to really talk about what the next 90 days is going to look like, what a focused, intentional effort is going to look like. And we can give you example after example after example of people who have had complete career changes, overhauls in like a 90-day period. Like it can literally set the pace for the rest of your professional life, because you're kind of getting outside of those comfort zones, getting outside of the borders or the boundaries that you've set for yourself. And so I just wanted for you guys to kind of give us a little sneak peek after we hit leaderboards on what do they have to look forward to? What you guys going to talk about?
Yeah, we've got a good one lined up. I know that we were talking last week, and I was like, man, timing, this is like, we need to get this back into the water stream, because it has been, shame on me, shame on all, like, it's just, we're growing, like the company is growing by leaps and bounds. And sometimes we would talk about this, years ago when we needed a spark or we needed some growth. And so we have got away from talking about this, which is crazy, because so many of us have grown from getting intentional behind this. And I couldn't think of anyone better to do this call with than Delaney. I know he's got many stories of stringing these together to grow his business. And there's nobody better at the X's and O's and structure and strategy behind it, and so we talked last week, and it's so funny, they're already going into a season of that, Brian. You work in seasons, we'll get into all that, but just hang tight, man. Stay with us. Make sure you eliminate distractions. We're going to jump into the who, what, why, and when about a 90-day blitz, because it can, if you come to this call with an open mind, you potentially can leave with a changed heart, which can change your business, because this is why so many of us are where we are today, is stringing some of these together.
Love it.
That's right. Exactly what he said. He nailed it. Couldn't have said it better. So yeah, I'm fired up with not only being on the call with Jacob, because while I might know the X's and O's, he knows how to run the play, and he's been absolutely crushing it. Love just how our relationship has grown, the both of us, and we get to have some of our people on who, as they grow in the business together, they can help push each other up, and that's what this business is about, pushing people up. So fired up to do that. Everybody, by the time they will leave this webinar today, will have a choice. They will have a choice whether they want to change their business or not. And so we're excited to give them that choice and the clarity on how to make it, how to commit to it, and keep those commitments to themselves and others. So
Great stuff.
Awesome.
Get your pens and your papers ready, in other words. Or if you take notes digitally, like a lot of people do these days, get that ready as well. Top 10 new writers, you can see them there. Our top 3 for the week: Brittany McSwain, Jesus Castanan Ramos, and Belina Wimbish Hale. Those are 2 difficult ones right there at the top. Not gonna lie, kind of stumbled a little bit, but I think I pulled it back together at the end. $7,600 for your first week out. Belina is nice, very nice. Top new agent for February for the month, Nicholas Steffa, $11,767. Well done. Top producers for the week, man. Guy poked his head in our office yesterday. Casey, were you here?
Yeah.
Yeah. Got to see Elliot yesterday. $33,000 in a week. Josh is like, what the heck, man? he goes out and does $33,188, and Elliot Freer has to do $100 more. Not even $50 more. It's crazy. Top producer, Josh Wiles, $82,151 for the month of February. Way to go. That's just, I mean, look at Sean Hogue, Jess Bosa. I mean, these are just like superstar video game numbers. It's unbelievable. Number 1 app count for the week was Elliot Freer, which is also unbelievable because you generally don't see 38 applications, even if you do come in with 33,000 in premium. So way to go. For the month, Elliot Freer with 64 apps. Unbelievable. Top med sub producer for the week, Brian Carnathan. Also for the month, just kind of throwing in some Medicare subs every once in a while. Top DI for the week, Tracy Roccanello. We got to spend a little time with Tracy last week. It was awesome. T-Rock. That's right.
T-Rock.
We see T-Rock. Jacob Peterson, $5,733. Where we at? IUL producers, Mason Van Meter, $24,198 for the week. Joel Edelson with $46,619 in IUL premium for the month of February. Never ceases to amaze me. Darren Stubbs, what the heck, man?
It was a good one.
That's a good one. $2 million annuity. That's going to fatten the bank account. I like it. It's going to protect, more importantly, the bank account for whoever it is that you helped for $2 million. Love it, man. Look at that. Great from Gregory as well, Mike. I mean, there's a lot of good annuity things happening, and we've got some exciting news about annuities that will be coming out probably this month for March. So hang tight. You're going to like it. Top DFL producers for the week: Jesus Castanan Ramos, $19,723. That's what I'm talking about. Betsy Barr with a heck of a month in DFL, $33,787. That's what I love to see. I just want to say something real quick about DFL. Can I, Casey? Do you mind if I kind of go off script a little bit like this?
I want to hear
it. There are a lot of people that, and rightfully so, they don't want to either get sidetracked with DFL, or they don't want their newer agents to get sidetracked with DFL. I think the beauty of Debt-Free Life is it's another avenue that producers can take if they want to. Obviously, a little more complicated, a little more complex than typical mortgage protection. Okay. If you're the type of agent that doesn't want to do it because you want to focus more on client acquisition, burning through leads, I get it. You want to go out and write your $10,000 a week in production that way. I would go to my manager, I would go to my upline, and I'd say, who in the organization would you recommend for me to send all my DFL cases to? I'd work out a split, something to the tune of 60-40. I would find that person. If I'm in Betsy Barr's organization, if I'm in Chris Cook's team, and I don't want to learn how to do the DFL, maybe I'm too new, or maybe I'm focused on other things, I'm finding a Betsy Barr and saying, what can we work out? Because there are so many people that need this coverage. So basically a reset program. We're putting some guidelines around all of that as we speak, so we can kind of systematize it for you. I wouldn't wait though. I would be finding someone right out of the gate and saying, hey, I'm going to pop a question every time I'm in an appointment. Can I throw it to you? What's a split look like? Let's do this thing together. I did that with annuities the last 2 years that I was in the field, and it had a tremendous impact on my business because all I had to do, Casey, was tee up the question. I threw it to a friend of mine, Terry Bryant, who's no longer in the industry, but he was an amazing annuity guy. Together, we wrote between $3 and $4 million of annuity business that year. Good old fashioned reset, man.
Brandon, real quick, just so you know, in the Sales 102 course block, we train even new agents just on that very process. We got Resma doing that. So just so everybody knows, we provided that, what they needed to learn, when they need to learn it. So that's actually in our scope and sequence.
I love it. We're going to put a little more, like I said, a little more guardrails around it. But I think there's so many people out there that need the help with this that we need to be asking everybody. Total recruits for the week in the base was Mr. John Ziller. Dana Elson, Ashley, and Tyler also had good weeks. Jacob Pogue sitting at the top with 37 on the directs board. Sean Kim, Brad, and Kira Gainey, Larry and Ann Griffin all tied with 3 for the license side. And Jacob Pogue, 15 out of his 37 were licensed. Love it. Tarler and Frank Brenez, new writers with 3 each. Jacob Pogue also with 10. Look at Ziller. Look at Pritchett.
Yep.
I'm telling you, I've been talking to John. I know you have too, Casey.
Yeah.
Good bit over the past couple of months. And oh my goodness, has he got some good stuff percolating up. About to blow up. A lot of people on the AO side, 18 agency owners actually had 1 SNA each. Congratulations. Tied for 3 on the direct side, Delaney, Tarler, and Danny Young, all having 3 SNAs on the direct side. So congratulations there. Here's all the seasoned new agents for the week: Addison Burr, Amanda Stolfels, Amber Heath, Andrew Franick, Bridget McClarty, Dominique DeShield, Gina Ostarley, Holly Hensley, Jael Aguayo, Janelle Blue Faulkner, Jose Burgos Vargas, Joshua Altenreith. I think they're getting more complicated as I go. Or is that just me? Kevin Payton, Kimberly Kazil, Martin Ferris, Mary Jo Dunlap, Paul Gray, Rangel Peters, Sladana Pettick, Stephanie Pride, Thomas Hotmer, and Valerie Sullivan.
Brandon, I can't tell you how grateful I am to have you back to do this list.
Man, I started getting real nervous after I got through Addison Burr, and I was like nailing them. I was 1 for 1, and then I started getting real nervous, and you could tell like my voice started quivering a little bit. I started sweating. I'm out of practice on these names.
We are we're as you guys know, we're looking at the data on this stuff weekly in our L10 meetings. And Spivey and I were just talking before this call about how awesome it is to see how many new season agents we have on a weekly basis right now. If you look back at where we were forecasting ourselves to be about this time in the quarter, Spivey, we were forecasting we were trying to set around 14.
Mm-hmm.
The last 3 to 4 weeks have all been over 20, some of them closer to 30. And like we kind of say every week around this topic with seasoned new agents, this is a domino effect. If you're brand new on the call, seasoned new agent is someone who goes out and writes 6 applications in their first 6 weeks. We know that the data tells us that that's a significant inflection point in the data or the graphs that say, if you can be in that world, you have a lot better chance of being a successful agent with us. And so everyone just put their focus on it. And, before that, we were in the 3 to 4 week category. That was less than 2 years ago. And so this has implications, massive implications in our system, from the amount of key leaders and team leaders that we're promoting to agency owners and all the way up. It's just that first domino. And so you see where we are, Brandon, for the week. Last week was our second largest week of production as a company. The last 7 weeks in a row, back to back to back to back. If you look at our last 12 years as a company, our top 3 weeks of production history, top 3 record weeks, every week for the last 7 weeks would have been in the top 3.
Yeah.
So we have found this new normal, this new range. And it's always an exciting time to kind of, as a company, get to that next plateau where we're really scaring 5 million a week of volume as a company, as Quility goes, every single week. Really exciting.
Yeah, we always talk about this. Your peaks become your valleys, and I think this is the perfect month. We're starting off with a 90-day Madman cycle for everybody to really kind of shoot for this new peak, an all-time best, and that's really what we're going to talk about today, Casey. And I think a lot of people have really kind of put their focus on that. Today, we're going to be very specific on what you're going to have to do to be able to go out and do that. And I think a lot of people are going to be pretty surprised at how simple just some minor adjustments are that will make a huge difference.
Yep.
You're right, though, man. It's so much fun looking at the graphs with SNAs. It is from even where we were a year ago, even where we were 6 months ago, we're double the number of SNAs than where we currently were.
Brandon, by that, when we shot our summit video at the beginning of the month, we had to pre-record that. We were off on the data right there because of just how quickly things are growing.
What did we say? We were averaging like 13 or 14,
13
and now
or 14.
we're averaging like 23.
If you look at the last 3 weeks, it was like 21, 27, 25.
Yeah, I think we had a 29 peak. It's like,
yeah,
I love it. So you can really tell too which managers and which builders are the most engaged and who's talking about these things the most, because you're starting to see so much more traction on things like this, like the SNAs out of certain organizations. All right, keep going here. Key leaderboards. Ike Monello, Gabrielle for the week. For the month, Cameron Gregory King, $72,000. Look at Ike's run rate, David's run rate, all the people right there. I mean, unbelievable. Look how tight it is at the top too. I love it, guys. Top agency owner for the week, Mr. Elliot Freer. For the month, Jeffrey Miller, $180,000 in premium. I love it, man. Number 1 for the week for agency directors, Larry and Ann Griffin. Rob Puckett for the month, $1.6 million. Way to go, Puckett. Top rads, Eileen Balmer with $204,000. $801,000 for the month, Way to go, Balmer. I like it. Top MVP, Scott Summers, $125,000 in premium for the month. Chris Cook, though, with $521,000, which may be a record there as well. Chris Cook's team is blowing up. Jimmy Spilldinner, love it. Love that he's still number one on the senior vice president's board. That is so cool. $231,000.
Yeah, his team is just rallying.
Way to rally, team Spilldinner, man. That just warms my heart. I love it. Kyle and Lisa Kimbrell just shy of $1 million for the month. Good month, guys.
Nice.
EVP is Mr. Carl Miller with $210,000 for the week. That's got to be a record, Miller.
Yeah.
Carl, that's got to be a record week for you, man. $210,000. Way to go. $763,357 for the month. Well done. Top associate partner, Mr. Lynn Watkins, $676,000. Jacob Pogue starting to nip. Ryan Miller starting to nip them heels. I love it. $2.75 million. Carl Miller says, definitely a record. Well done. I'm getting a lot of chatter on my own chat box over here, so I'm making sure whose name I either mispronounced or what I need to announce. I'll come back to it. Eddie Pritchett, $1 million, 3.8, almost 3.9 million for the month. Top managing partner for the week. Good to see KP in there. Marshall Whalen, 1.1 for the largest organization for the week and for the month with 4.3 million. I'm not sure that that's not a 4-week turn-in record for Marshall Whalen too. I'd have to get verification on that. I need like a records list somewhere on my wall that I can access. Top direct for the week, Jacob Pogue with $251,000, $925,000 for the month. Woo, dog. Base shop Penso. It was good to see Penso in Miami. Penso living the Miami life too, man. You know that?
Right.
He got him a car coming in. He moved from 85 to 90. He got 10% left before he receives his vehicle.
Pretty sweet.
Pretty sweet.
Ferrari.
Top base. Yeah, I know. It's a Ferrari, by the way, not just a new vehicle.
Yeah, Ferrari.
It's a nice car.
And not just any Ferrari. It's a upper level Ferrari category.
That's something that like Don Johnson would be driving around down there, right?
I don't know. Maybe, yeah, maybe.
Maybe years ago. I'm not sure Don Johnson still.
Yeah.
I don't know if he still got the coin to do it. Tarler, $176,000 for the month in the base. I love seeing it continue to grow. And John Ziller, I'm just telling y'all, watch out. Got some stuff going. Oh, John wanted me to announce, everyone, 4th annual Symmetry Invitational while we're in Cancun. Right. Just reach out to John, 48 players max. It's filling up. Reach out to John. You're going to be in Cancun. You want to be on the play with the tournament.
It's a Make-A-Wish, right?
I'm the defending champion, by the way. Did you know that?
Are you?
Yes.
From the last trip?
My team.
Am I going to get any credit here?
Nope. I carried the team that day. No, it was John Ziller and then Spivey, and then I think Levi probably played better than me, and then me. But I was on the team, by God.
We played great.
Thank you. I
will say you led the team in Make-A-Wish donations too, so I was very proud of you.
Nicely done. On hoots and hollers, I think John Ziller actually beat me on hoots and hollers, unfortunately. Josh Wiles, #1 point getter, submit style for the month of February. This is about to be rounded out. We're going to be announcing winners here in a couple of weeks on this, guys. For the month, KP and Sunshine Band, $608,000. Top corporate agent was Louis Alrahab. I like that name, Louis. Kind of like Louis. Louis. It's the second part of Louis.
Right.
You're right. That's right. We got to go to Cabo. All right, here we go. This is like the key. Casey, you've talked about it for the last 3 or 4 weeks till you kind of blew in the face. Yep. If you want to have a record week in the next 2 to 3 weeks, you need to have a record week in resources and a record week in activity, or else you're just going to get lucky. I wouldn't plan on getting lucky. You got to do more than you've been doing to get more than you've been getting, right? It's that simple. So here are some great areas where you can get more leads. You can't just jump online and get them right away because it is very expensive to get into the lead gen business. So we don't just crank them on and let you come get them, because also every second that slips by from someone filling out that lead, the close ratio begins to dip, certainly for digital leads. So I was talking with, I've been talking with managers. We're putting some data together. I was hoping to have it for you today, and we just didn't have time. But I was talking to Nate Offert yesterday. I've talked to Brad Smith. I've talked to several managers. Like I want some specific examples of someone over the past 90 days that has changed their lead intake amount, Casey, and what that's actually done for their business. And Nate just started rattling off 3 or 4 names. You know, had an agent that was taking 7, 8, 9 A leads a week, had a conversation with them. Based on what you're telling me you want, you're not going to be able to get there taking this amount of resources. They upped it to 15 to 16 leads a week, and production didn't just double. They went from about $7,000 or $8,000 of premium to about $22,000 of premium. And this goes back to what we've said constantly. When you double your resources, you don't generally just double the amount of production you're getting. There's something exponential that begins to happen. You're getting up to bat a lot more. You really expand your opportunities in uncovering annuity or a DFL policy, but you also just start getting better at what you're doing. Yeah. So I would say step 1 to this 90-day Madman cycle that everybody's getting ready to jump on is increase your lead flow. Those of you that are at a 2-to-1 or 3-to-1 ratio on bonus leads to A leads, I would set that, and I've always been a big proponent of making that 4-to-1 at a minimum. I want 4 bonus leads for every A lead that I'm taking. And, you know, if I'm a newer agent, I would try to get to A leads as quickly as possible. Everything you're seeing on that SNA board and everything that we're starting to see that's ramped up with the number of people that are qualifying there, it's directly aligned with people getting leads, more leads faster. That is the ticket. Yep. Guys, you got to do it. So up your standing lead orders immediately. I'm telling you, they'll talk a lot more about that here in just a second. What do we got here? National Life Group tomorrow at 11, doing business with NLG. Monday, we've got Omar Diaz, back-to-back Golden Pin winner. This is somebody that I would probably be taking some notes from, personally. If I'm in the field, I'm going to be sure to be on this one. Jeremy and Elizabeth Castile on Back to the Basics. But Omar's numbers are just unbelievable from a profitability standpoint, from a PPL standpoint, and just from an overall placement standpoint. And then, of course, Tuesday, back with Mr. Mike Resma. DFLIVEIN. It's going to be good. What we got here? Mr. Zay, I think, wanted to pop in and give a couple of quick announcements. How you doing over there, Dougie?
Hey, how y'all doing?
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Excellent, man.
Good. We wanted to jump on real quick and just share a little bit about some updates coming out of HQ and just make sure everybody's aware of the awesome work going on behind the scenes. You know, it really is a living, breathing entity for Quility, and it's something that we are constantly receiving suggestions, looking at opportunities to improve the flow, improve the usability, and just make it, continue to make it an even more exceptional tool for everybody to use. So, please, if you have thoughts, suggestions, things you want to see, we are actively looking at those. Right now, you can just go to the support section and submit a ticket to the IT department if you have a feature that you think would be important for us to consider as we're looking at that. We employ a methodology internally, the Scrum Methodology. And what that really means is we are focused on 2 to 3 week cycles of developing things that are going to add value to your daily lives and get those out as frequently as possible. So if you haven't checked it out, on the very bottom of HQ, there's a button you can click that says release notes, and that gives you a history of all of the different features and things that have been released. So if you want to know what's new, where the opportunity is, just go click on that. But then we'll also be talking about it here on the call and announcing it and making sure we keep you up to speed on all the awesome things coming out. So a couple quick things here. This is a direct result of some focus groups that we've had. Our amazing product owner for HQ, Erica Sisson, holds regular meetings with focus groups to get their ideas and thoughts. And so based on that, we have reorganized and renamed a lot of the home menu. So that's your left navigation bar that kind of points you in all the directions you need to get where you need to go on HQ. Just renaming some things, making it clear on what actually it is that you're going to access. So for example, it used to say new business, now it says my client. So it's clear to you that's where everybody that you have submitted applications on, that's where all of that data and information lives. But we've renamed things like carriers and products, marketing, the Quality Tech, benefits and promotions, where you can learn all about Protect the Protector and our promotion guidelines. So go through, check it out, refamiliarize yourself. If you're logging in and see that things have moved around a little bit, that's on purpose. So let us know your feedback and what you think about it. Second to that is, Brian just did an awesome job in explaining Summit, the entire process, but just so you know, the easiest, simplest way to access Summit is on the very top right-hand corner of HQ, there is a little mountain icon. And if you click on that mountain icon, it will take you right into the beginning of the Summit process. Also a banner scrolling across right now, but in case that banner didn't pop right up for you, you can always just click on the little icon to see that. And we're getting wonderful engagement. I think Brian mentioned on the last call, already had some suggestion thoughts and things that we've been able to work through and just make sure it's running smoothly and giving you what you need. So a couple more real quick. Quality RX cars, we've reorganized that page. You can go there now, and at the very top, there is a menu bar and it has different sections. If you click on the resources on the black menu, it actually gets you to all of the current resources, the ability to print out a PDF of the cards with your Quality RX information on it so that you can hold and distribute those with ease. Also, Leaderboards now available on there as well, where you can really see activity for your agents and what's happening in terms of both of their ability to, or how many cards are being sent out, but actually how often those cards are being accessed and utilized by the clients and participants in the program. So just great information so you can highlight and reward and acknowledge the people out there helping our clients save some money on their prescriptions. Another one that you will see, and I will say this is probably our most active part of HQ is our stats section. We have just released some new stats available to everyone. And what that really shows is your agent activity within the platform. So you're able to see how many agents are active in the system that are a part of your organization, how many sign-ins, how often people are coming to the system and utilizing it. That's at 0 because we're in March and we haven't processed promotions, but gives you a historical list of by month all the promotions within your organization, so you can make sure you recognize those folks that are moving up the ladder. And then last but not least, you get to see all the birthdays of everybody in your organization. And that's true if you're direct, it's your entire organization. You can go through, there's filters in there, you can drill down into each one of these metrics and stats to kind of see who are the people, and why would we show you that? Well, engagement in HQ is a great way for you to understand who are my people that are being active, who are my people that are engaged in the system. Of course, with Summit and everything else, there's a ton of metrics available. We'll continue to build on that, but for everything else, it just shows you that general activity of everybody in your organization. So the last one, we left this one, maybe we should have led with it, the dreaded F word. We do, our word of the year in addition is all about transparency. And we just want to make sure we're presenting to you data and information. So, if there's somebody moving up the ladder, if their production is starting to elevate behind you, you get some awareness of the fact that you're at risk of being passed on the builder's track. So you get that information and do not get run over by that Zamboni.
There you go. Good stuff, Dougie.
Nice, Doug. Thank you, man. I know we said it on stage, but thank you for everything you're doing, B-Dub, you guys. I mean, it's really cool to think about how many, chiefs we have behind the scenes Really, we have, what do we have, 175 on the payroll at this point. I think we have a plan for 40 more hires this year, conservatively 40 more hires for 2022, but just led by a group of leaders, like Doug and BW you see on the screen, that their whole job is about making your life easier as an agent, making your life more efficient, driving profit and revenue for your business. It's really cool to have such a big team behind the scenes handling what you guys are handling, and things like HQ and Summit are a perfect example of the fruit that comes from all that hard work and commitment. So thank you guys.
Yeah, man.
Appreciate it, Dougie.
Well said, buddy.
All right. 2-minute update here. So directive leadership creates compliance. Coaching creates ownership. So when you tell someone what to do, they'll do it. But when you coach somebody, they'll own it. And so we believe firmly in coaching, but we also believe firmly in making the coaching that you need available when you need it available at a price that's very affordable based on the level of leadership. So briefly, this 10-week challenge, we have only one more cohort available. We've had the first 2 sell out. And so this launches on the 18th, I think, of that week. So if you're interested, take a quick screenshot, because I'm going to go to the next slide. And we tried to make that registration link simple for now. We're working on a project to get all of this inside HQ for the next quarter. So that'll be a change we're working on, but tinyurl.com/quality. This one is for if you've written 6 apps, you're on your team leader run, getting with Justin Finney for 10 weeks will rock your world. And we've already, every week we have people commenting in the chat or getting feedback. This one is a good investment. $225 for the whole time.
Wow.
The next slide is for literally, it can include that same group. I mean, anyone you can go all the way up to team leader, but really we even designed this for brand new people. You haven't even written apps, or you're just starting to write apps. Now, again, we always get all of us, you've heard on the builders call today, and even here, we don't want to get stuck in what we call the paralysis of analysis. We don't want over learning to happen. But this thing right here, Sales Cycle 101, is a hands-on, nuts and bolts, get just gritty in the mirror with how do I really get the skill set that I need to write apps right out of the game and increase that confidence level. And so this one is a 6-week experience, $135 for the whole time. Again, working with Justin Finney, massive results. We're actually doing some digging in with our business intelligence right now to be able to publish more quantitative coaching return on investment stuff. So check those out again at the link, scroll down. We have a lot of space in those 3 slots open. So in the coming weeks, we're actually going to launch some leadership focused cohorts, get back to a lot of that Thrive DNA, the giant tools that we use. And so I've got cohorts in the waiting, but I want to make sure you do not miss it, because this is one of those this is coming to an end. And if I'm a key leader agency owner with some new agents that, you've been working with and could use this supplement, I'm thinking about how do I help them get that kind of extra investment. So rock on. That's it for me.
Great stuff, buddy. Man, what a gift to be able to have that level of coaching at that pricing. I mean, I saw $225 for 10 weeks.
Yeah. What we've worked really hard to get. I mean, first of all, the coaches in our ecosystem, they want to be here. They want to be working here. They value the relationship and the coaching that I give them, and the culture that we have here. And quite honestly, most importantly, they truly value the hungry, humble smartness of our agents. They've never seen anything like this when it comes to the responsiveness of people. So it is a very unique thing that we've got building with this whole strategy. So it's world-class, it's differentiated, and I took screenshots of some of the comments about Summit that are actual tangible results already. It's a game changer for recruiting. It's a game changer for all the things that we want to see in terms of metrics, moving the business, and couldn't be happier.
Love it. Thank you, BJ. Talk about knee deep in it, man. It's the amount of work that Brian's been kind of spitting out. over the past 6 months has just been, it's been mind blowing, buddy. Thank you for so much of that. It's such a, I think what a gift it was to be able to bring somebody with your pedigree on, but also someone, it's not often that you have someone that has your background, but also has, 3 or 4 years worth of very company specific knowledge and has coached a lot of the top leaders in the organization. And so it's something that's so different, I think, than anything else that's out there in our industry, is the level of coaching, just the idea of the specific type of coaching that we're offering, the emphasis on well-being, the emphasis on the positive psychology, the emphasis on developing yourself, and the understanding that none of us are ever there and we're never going to be there. We're all in the process of just getting there. And so how do I, submit to this idea that I'm constantly striving to get better every single day. I'm going to make mistakes. I'm going to hurt some relationships. How do I fix those things as quickly as possible, own those things, and try to get better? That is so different than the message that's out there around the industry, Brian. And I'm so excited for this year and the remainder of the year, as people are going to start seeing so much specific content coming out and give people such an opportunity to really just, up their game. Yeah. We're all trying to up our game.
Yeah, we're just starting. I'm going to highlight, DJ said in the chat, Finney's 10-week course doubled my production and has changed my business entirely. Now, here's the thing. I actually said, I want to hear more from you, DJ. Zip me an email. There are many of those stories. And a lot of it, again, is we are literally on the front that we've been building out, just getting started with return on investment, outcomes-based L&D, learning and development. And again, so grateful, guys, for the opportunity to be here doing it as well. Just beyond thrilled. Let's roll.
Thank you, brother. All right. Man, we got a good one lined up for today. Go ahead and unveil, everybody. We will shut up because we've talked too much. Sarah, Brian, Jordan.
Yeah, we got some.
Wake up. Man, there's some star power on this call.
Killers on today.
I'm getting nervous just talking. Brian Delaney, it feels like that we built the company in 90-day sprints. Going back to how long have you been here now? I ask you this every time. It's like 9 years.
10 and a, let's see, 10 and a half at this point.
Oh my God. I don't get to count anything that happened during the COVID times because
I was part-time the first year. I was part-time for the first year. That's why I don't show up in the videos.
We used to talk about all this a lot more. Same with you, Jake. We used to talk about kind of 90-day Madman cycles a lot more because it's so easy to kind of put focused intention around a short sprint, right? And, the beauty of this business is that you only have to be really good at a handful of things, and if you want to build your organization, then we know there's really two things that are going to do that. More recruiting numbers, more leads under management. That's this side of the bucket. The other side of the bucket is what we were just talking about, which is how do I become a better leader? How do I become a better person? How do I work on myself so that I can get better in my business? Because without this side, you can't get this side, right? But I think a lot of times people get maybe they become unfocused because they're trying to do or focus on too many things. When really, if I can, as an agency owner, Jacob Pogue, if I can increase my recruiting numbers, then I can increase my writers. If I'm increasing my leads under management, it's one of the most important stats you can look at. If I'm growing those two things and I am the type of person that people want to follow, I will have significant growth. And let me tell you what significant growth looks like. Brian Delaney, running in December is about 1.6, jumped up in February to about almost 1.8. This is a steady growth if you're looking over years of just upward mobility. Jacob Pogue, 1.49. So right at 1.5 million in December to about 1.75 in February. February is not, I don't know if you guys are paying attention, it's not a long month. Have y'all noticed this? And to see this growth like that, Jordan Hunt is straight up $300,000 a month monster. And Sarah Reinecke, $118,000 in December, January, $188,000, February, $207,000. All of these are individuals that you want to learn from and do exactly what they're doing. And we're grateful for all of you. I could spend an hour just talking about all the things that each of you individually have done for the company and how grateful we all are. But I'm so excited that everybody's going to have the chance to hear from each of you on how you grow your businesses, because Casey said it a million times, man, results matter, you know, and you guys are getting results consistently. And I think some of the most important results that you're getting also is that your teammates love you, you have a great culture, and you're making a huge impact on people in your organizations. And that's a true blessing. So
and good timing, extremely good timing for this call. You know, coming right out of the biggest and best conference we've ever had, from an attendance standpoint, from a production standpoint, how we were coming into conference from a weekly production standpoint as a collective team and company, but now how we're coming out of that conference. As we've said, we're on the biggest 7-week stretch from a runway rate we've ever been on, and it's you know, we're talking up 400,000 or 500,000, 600,000 a week. And so massive momentum happening, which is what, to me, like a 90-day Madman is about. Two things. And you guys may have a lot more to add to this. I'm sure you probably do. But to me, the two kind of fundamental things that a 90-day Madman does is it either kickstarts momentum, or it's something that you would do as you have momentum as well to capitalize on that. Because, you know, when you're new, or you're new at building even, and you're bringing people onto your team, there's an energy. You know, momentum is just an invisible energy. You can feel it, but you can't, you can see it on the leaderboards, but it's hard to describe what it is. You just know it when you have it. And we have it. We call it the big mo. And so if you're out there, I don't really have the big mo. Well, the company's got it. Your team, someone on your team's got it. There's an agency owner. Your group probably has it, because everyone's breaking records. And so now's the time to jump on this 90-day Madman cycle. Leverage the momentum that's happening all around you, because recruiting, if you're talking about building an agency, is just attraction. That's all recruiting really is. It's an attraction, and people on the outside can see that. They can feel that momentum as well. They can feel that energy. And so perfect timing on that. The second thing that a 90-day Madman to me does, guys, is it's about habits. It's about, how do I create better habits for myself as a personal producer, as a leader, someone trying to build an agency. I remember, you know, I struggled in this business for a long time on that front, on being self-disciplined. You know, I'd really never had a job. You know, wasn't extremely disciplined in school. And I struggled with that, like go out, do 5,600 my first week out, and then I blank out. And, you know, and then my whole journey for that first few years felt like that. It was just like I was letting my bank account dictate my activity level. I didn't really have a Madman cycle plan. I was just kind of using my existing habits, and that was creating a certain result in my bank account that I wasn't very happy about. When I started doing stuff like 90-day Madman sprints, I went from doing $20,000 a month in production to over $400,000 a month in 24 months. Brandon, you were about on that same journey too, where we both I got it, and we started to create better habits. And every 90-day sprint we went on, it created a new level of habit for me, you know, that was like, well, I'm just used to this level of work now. I'm used to this level of discipline. I've created a new world for myself every 90 days. And so you're going to look at your bank account at the end of 90 days and you're like, sweet, I increased my profit. I increased my revenue by 20%, 30%, 40%. That's great. It's the long-term habit that you're creating around sprints like this that are the most important thing. And it's not just about you. It's also about your team. So perfect timing. Really excited about what you guys are hitting on today.
Yep.
super, super grateful for you guys taking care of this call for us. Thank you guys. That was great, Casey. Pretty much stole all our material. So we're just gonna close up shop, guys. Hope you got what you needed from that. 2 boxes. Remember all the stuff Casey just said. It's all right, and it's worked the same way for all of us. So
I got one question for y'all, and Brian, since you're already kind of talking, you can answer it. Questions popped up in the chat, and we can start this, and then we'll Casey and I will shut up. What is a 90-day Madman cycle?
That's a beautiful question. I'm gonna hand it over to the leader of this call because I've gotten to watch him do it. We've gotten to run in this business together, and it couldn't be more grateful to have been asked to be on this call by Jacob. So Jacob, take that away.
Awesome, man. Well, so grateful to be here. I know, just for the sake of time, I speak for all of us. Every single one of us on here. It's just an honor for you guys to ask us and trust us with this, because it's important. It's important, and I couldn't think of anybody better to be sharing today's call with than these folks. So in short, Brandon, a 90-day Madman cycle, or excuse me, a 90-day Blitz. We're changing the name of this. Okay, we're going to slip up a few times. Okay, we all have done it already in the first 2 minutes. A 90-day Blitz, because I think that's politically
I like that way better. Good call.
Okay, so a 90-day Blitz is simply doing more to get more over the next 90 days, right? Just doing more to get more in terms of production, in terms of recruiting. And I love what you said, Casey, about creating momentum, creating habits. You know what it also does is it allows you to hit new highs, which create new lows, right? Which is really cool. And I've seen it happen for people time and time again, that when we stretch ourselves and when we hit some place we haven't been before, it's no longer unfamiliar, right? And so you're going to create new lows in your business, and those lows will be, highs for the first time during this 90 days. So really excited to share the stage with you, Brian. I'm telling you, or the call with you. It's been a game changer to have you in my life and my business. From my first conference I went to, I saw you on stage. You were doing about $50,000 a month in production, couple, 6 writing agents on your team, agency owner. And it was your first time being on stage, and you were just speaking, and you were nervous a little bit, rightfully so, talking to that many people.
A little bit. I appreciate the lack of memory on your part.
Okay. I saw your knees shaking through your pants. Your voice was trembling. Okay. I was trying to make, a little nervous sounds better. But man, I was in the back of that room and just at a spot buried in debt. And what you gave me, the words, it was awesome hearing you talk about how you were making money before you traded everything to do it, and how this company was transforming your life. And it gave me hope, man. And I'll never forget that. And then being able to learn from you in the beginning, right? And like take your mentorship, which I still do. But watching our relationship change over time to where, like, I learned so much from you in the beginning, and then I chased you for so long, and now we're running next to each other, and I'm still learning from you and still chasing from you, but we're just doing it at a different level, and we've created a friendship along the way. And when I thought about a 90-day Blitz, I didn't think of anyone better to help roll this out to everybody than you, man. So really happy to have you on, and Sarah and Jordan, geez, like, champions. I see you two the same, like Brian and I years ago, like just watching what this is going to do for your life, watching the impact that you're going to have for so many people. Jordan, 300,000 a month, like Brandon just said, 45 writers last month, 5 new, first month of 120, so long as the issue paid report says so, but we think
second month. That'll be the second month. I'm going to correct that. That'll be the second month, as long as it's my guy. I gotta do the thing. So
good.
I want to put some respect on his name here. Second month of 120, and yeah, absolutely. Just watching him run and just getting to see Sarah Reinecke on your team do the same exact thing is just watching them level up. Is there any, like Jacob, is there anything better in this business to not only have experienced that ourselves, but now get to see the next generation of people doing that, and to watch them do it better is that's the thing that I love the best. We're better, quicker, just like making us look like we're old and irrelevant. And so and there's no success without a successor. And I definitely see so many on the team between you and I but these are the two we're highlighting today. So I'm fired up to learn a lot from Sarah and just continue to be partnered with Jordan in his growth, and just really watching and admiring that, just like I've gotten to do as we've been running side by side.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely, man. And which is just a killer month, man. Month 2, it's so awesome, dude. So awesome. And I knew you were someone I needed to know at your wedding, Brian, when we were down there, and I got to meet you and your heart. And, you know, the numbers say a lot, but who you are is something special. So people are going to see that today. And then Sarah, you know, like he said, $207,000 last month, 56 unique writers, 17 new writers, which is absolutely insane. 110% contract rate. So we'll talk a little bit more about y'all's stats when we pass it to you. But so basically, I just want to prepare your mind for what's coming today. 90-day blitz, right? And you know, why is it 90 days? Well, just like every other part of this system, you know, it's systematized. There's data that backs up why we would do it for 90 days. It's not 30, it's not 60, it's 90. And the reason being is when you're building a business, it's a process. It's a pipeline activity, right? And it takes time to see those results. Really, you won't start seeing massive results for probably 100, 120 days after heavily recruiting. And some of y'all are gonna have to turn your camera on. Now I'm just talking to myself. This looks weird. So thank you. It was like, oh, Jacob, meet Jacob. So it's a 90-day process, right? And you'll see results 100 to 120 days in, not 30. I've had a lot of people start these and then quit these too soon, right? Because you're not seeing results in terms of building. You're like, all of a sudden, Brian, I start recruiting, right? And I start up in my game. And then all of a sudden, 30 days later, I'm not at the top of the company, and all of a sudden I quit, right? So you just have to trust. Like, I want you to leave this call just trusting the process, trusting that what we say is true, and it will work if you put in the work. So we're going to focus on 90 days, not 30, not 60, but 90. My business changed when I did this. Brian's business changed. You look at any of the people at the top of this company, most of them, I would say, have a story about how stringing one of these blitzes, doing a couple of these blitzes, you know, maybe more, but that they had to implement this to get where they are today. So all the leaders in the company, right? I remember back in 2015, Brandon and Casey got on a call just like this, and it was them talking about it, right? Casey saying, hey, look, we can stand on our head for 90 days. If you just do this, you'll get this. We promise you your business will look different in 90 days. And I got off that call, right? First time I don't know if it was the first time I heard it, but it was the first time that I made the decision that I was going to implement it. So I got off that call. I was excited, and I wasn't going to just do it for myself. And all you leaders out there, like, here's the key. Let's promote it. If you're going to be doing it, let's get our people doing what we're doing. So I got off that call. I was excited. I started promoting to the team. And at the time, my team consisted of an agency owner and Rita Law. And I'm sorry, no, Rita Law was an agent. Eileen Balmer was an agency owner, or wasn't even. We started building though. We started doing a 90-day blitz together. So I had 0 agency owners on my team at the time, 0. But Rita was here, Eileen was here. So we started recruiting. You got to hear, I had to write this down because the tree gets a little crazy here. So we started building, right? I hired in 90-day blitz. In that time, I hired Richard Wright. Still here today, hired other agency owners. Eileen Balmer hired Scott Menk. Scott Menk came in. He wanted to start fast. He started building a business. In that same year, he hired Chris Menifee, Johnny Cox, Deanne Cox, all agency owners on this team today. Rita Law hired Andrew Jimenez, Roddy Jessup, agency owners on this team today. See, what I want to do, these guys, these rock stars are going to teach you what it is, how to do it. I just want to prepare the mind. Is it worth it? Right? And it is. It changed everything for me. We look at our business today, and so much of it is from what we did in 2015. I strung together 3 of these in a row, which is crazy. My tongue was hanging out, but I wanted to go fast. I wanted to get Stacy out of her job. I was willing to sacrifice a little bit of sleep and freedom today so I could have it in the future. And man, do we have it, Brian. Get this. We found 9 of our 26 agency owners in 2015. Not that they all broke out in 2015, but we identified them and they joined our team. 9 of the 26. Those 9 since then have created 22 of the 26 agency owners we have on the team, which is absolutely incredible. Last month, our team did 1.724 million. 1.36 million of that was from the work that we did in 2015. So do these things work? Absolutely. Have they worked for me? Yes. Are they working for Sarah and so many other rock stars on this team? Yes. And Brian, I've watched you do this, and I watched you do it systematically. And that's something that has always impressed me about you is, different personalities can win here. Thank goodness, right? Thank goodness I don't have to be Brian Delaney to build a successful business, because I would fail miserably, because we're different. We're different. You're very structured and you're streamlined, and I love that. And I learn from you, and I call you when I need that kind of help. Like, dude, I need help here. I need to process this. I need your brain. And you can, and the one part of envy, you don't want to fall into the comparison trap. Okay. It's just not good. But I can't get myself out of the fact that Brian can read a sentence once and quote it for the rest of his life. Okay. You are so good. Your brain is so good, man.
That's a myth, man. That's a myth. You're trying to, you're propagating a myth. You know how many times I write it and read it?
So you actually put work into it. Okay.
Listen, GED means read a sentence twice. That's what it means. That's what it means. And the same exact way for you too, Jacob. It's like whenever I have a question about relationships and people and knowing how that's going to build and shape my business, I come to you. And here's the thing, that if you try to have my work ethic, you would win every time. And if I tried to have your work ethic, I would win every time. Why? Because we both work. That's the thing. That's the thing, that there are certain things that are absolutes that you're going to need here. And work is one of those things. How you specifically do this, we're not going to touch that today, because that's just a preference, not a non-negotiable. And that's what I love about this business is you can see it my way, you can see it Pogue's way, but what's important is your way using the same tools, using the same metrics that we have. And so, there is a comparison trap, but the comparison trap starts when I start comparing myself with everyone else rather than just someone else, and learning how to make my best better from looking at somebody like you, who's just absolutely so dynamic and is not afraid to get their hands in the dirt and really get close to people and build these transformational relationships like you have time and time and time again, right? And Jordan and Sarah are just so good at that too. So I just wanted to jump in there. It's such a big deal, because I'll watch your business grow and be like, oh, I got to go do it again. I know what Jacob's doing.
That's
and
right.
And listen, the secret to your people are your people, and that's being utilized right now because we're both direct to the company and we help push each other up. And as we do, our people come up with us, right?
Amen.
But we can't get away from the fundamental principles. And I love what Casey was saying about filling those two boxes, about progressive overload, all that kind of stuff. But yeah,
let's get into that, because that's exactly, I talked to Sarah yesterday afternoon after we all talked, and I told her that that's one of the things I admire about you is the fundamental principles and the way your brain works. And you can always say, okay, is this duplicatable? Is this, is this part of our system? Like looking at, because we're looking at, look, we're going to be $1 billion company, right? And we want to make sure that people that join this thing 3 years from now are getting the same thing that we're getting. So you're really good at that. And when I was talking about, hey, we're getting ready to start this Blitz, which comes to me because I lead with my heart, right? And it was on my heart. It's the right time. We should do it. And then I talk to you who lead with your brain, and you're like, oh yeah, we do this every March, April, May. So I'm like, oh, perfect. So can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. First and foremost, I just want to express my gratitude, not only to you, Jacob, for just your business partnership, your friendship, and just being a brother to me beyond this business. Just getting to know you and Stacy and watching your family grow is completely awesome. And to know that we've been able to run at this thing shoulder to shoulder has given me the courage and the time. I've been able to borrow your courage and belief in times where I didn't have it for myself. And so get more relationships like that alongside you, right? It's a big deal. And to the owners of the company, the fact that Casey and Brandon can just come in here and simplify and summarize all of what they do. I love hearing them on the call, but you know what? They're still saying the same things they were back then, because it's not that this business is easy, but it is simple. This is not a high difficulty game. This is a high skill game where commitment is more important than skill set, right? Commitment is more important than skill set. And coming out of this last conference, listen, if you watch that, if you were plugged into that, maybe by yourself and with a few other people, and you didn't come out of that committed, we can't help you. This is not going to be the webinar that turns you around. We're not going to create an emotional moment for you to get overly excited just to let yourself and other people down once again, right? This is not about being motivatable. This is about being motivated, or a motivator, just as Nate Offer talks about. This is about knowing that a 90-day blitz works the same today as it ever has. And that's because we have owners like we do. And because this opportunity during a 90-day blitz was shared time and time again with me by Edward Pritchett. And for that reason, my life is completely different, and it looks unmistakably in a way that has been shaped by the impact that Edward has had on me, just through his simple adherence to principles, and just growing himself and making his best better, doing the things that he was going to be asking me and others to do still to this day. He wasn't relevant then and irrelevant now. That man is relevant in my life, still continues to grow and challenge me as a leader. Can't be grateful. And what was said earlier is so true. This conversation about 90-day blitzes, I almost did it again, is not about me. It's about we. It's about what we've done. It's about what we started to do in the beginning with Edward and I, when he was running, I was running, how I continued that on with Ayers and Sicily, Colin Gillum, Trey Alderson Cloutier, Jimmy Spieldenner, how we continued that on, and how we're continuing to drop that down in depth and watching people just get better and better and better at it as the generations go, right? All of my top leaders today, without exception, are better than me at what they do. And that's what these 90-day blitzes are meant to create, right? I'll tell you exactly what the results are, because I believe that when you get committed to the destination, you'll get committed to the process. You'll be willing to fall in love with the process of becoming great, like Tim Grover talks about. Because when I was the first one I started, right, I had been here for a year working part-time, on average about 30 hours a week. 2 months before Brandon Ellison said it's time to step up, and so I did. From May of 2012, I was running about 30,000, right? 30,000 in production. By the next May, because we had done a blitz, we had actually done 2 blitzes at that time in that year. We went from 30,000 up to 80,000 in production, and I was able to break out as agency owner with a couple of key leaders on the way, right? That very next year, I was involved in one of those blitzes, right? One of those blitzes, traveling around to see my people, 80,000 to 276,000. The very next year, 276,000 to 509, right? Undeniable results. You want to know how undeniable they were? Last year in February, we had 194 writers. We did 1,489 apps for 1.4 million. This February, we had 244 writers for 1,769 apps for 1.7 million. See, when a system works, it's predictable. You're talking about growing by 50 writers. You're talking about growing by just about 300 applications, and you're talking about growing $300,000 a month in average production. That's what we're talking about. We're not, and where do we set the target? We set the target at provocation. That's where we do. That's what we do. And that's exactly what we're here to do, is we're here to provoke you into taking action early. That's what we want to do, because it's worth it. Not because it's going to be hard or easy, or because you're capable and competent or you're not. We don't care about any of that, because believe me, some of the least capable people in this business in the beginning have become the most capable later on. And I put myself in that. I absolutely put myself in that. From my knees shaking on the stage for the first time to where I am today as a well-recognized leader within this company, standing on the shoulders of giants who have come before me, who their ability to grow has made me look tall. I want to provoke you into action before you know you can do it, before you have it all figured out, because I think by the time you have it all figured out, you're going to be too lazy to actually do it. I want to provoke you to see it through. That's what I want to provoke you to do. I want to provoke you to know that the call is now and you can decide to pick it up or not. And I don't want you to just pick it up. I want you to pick it up and keep it up. That's what I want you to do. I want to provoke you to accept the numbers and the metrics that we go over and the results that we talked about that are absolutely undeniable. But I want you to find out what yours are, because if I can book 1 out of every 4 on an A1 lead, but you can book 1 out of every 10, that's going to change over the next 10 for you. And that's where the massive growth happens within this company. See, I think the newest person who is willing to be provoked and then become committed to this process is going to be responsible for the most growth that this business has, because our upside potential is absolutely unlimited, because we are breaking the space, not taking it up right now. And that's the opportunity. I want to provoke you to push your mentor to the next level and step into something bigger than yourself. Because the moment you do that, you realize you have a small part to play in a big thing. And then you can invite other people to have the big part to play in something small, just like becoming agency owner is. It's a step, not a stop, but it's such a big step, right? Because how you push your leader is going to be how your people push you. That's what it is. And we set that example to start with. So where do we start, right? And I want to provoke you to live and lead by example, get financially free and get others free too, because from whether it's a 70% contract or a 120% contract, your income and your bank account can never outpace your mindset. You cannot have an abundant bank account. You cannot have an abundant relationship account while working from a scarcity mindset. I'm going to do that when I get this is the lie. That is one of the most common lies that are out there, but you didn't come here to be common, did you? That's not a rhetorical question. That's a question for you to answer, right? So where do we start? 50K in 90 days is the target. That's where we start. I want to grow 50K of production in 90 days. What do I have to do? I have to be intentional. That's what I have to do. People say, well, I don't have enough time to do that. We're talking about on average to do this about 50 to 55 hours a week. Most of you have come here and done more than that. The production side of this business is somewhere between 25 and 35 hours a week, depending on how big your goals are. That's going to be how big your schedule is, right? Depending on if you want to do what I watched Jordan do in his run, where he didn't do 15-second interviews a week. I watched him do 62 interviews in 1 week. That blew my mind. I was like, what in the world are you doing, man? That was crazy. But the results matched. So we start with 15 appointments, right? And why do I say, some of you, well, I want to book 20 appointments. Yeah, you're not most people. And so what we're just trying to do is we're letting you know what the entry threshold is, right? What's the minimum to get in? 15 appointments is the minimum. You do 13, expect 0. How about that? That's a fair expectation, right? This isn't a target, it's a minimum. Just like the production, just like on the promotion guidelines. Those aren't targets, those are minimums. If you get $1 less than that, one writer less than that, you didn't earn it. That's what Edward Pritchett showed me when I asked him for my 80% commission bump that I missed by $600 in submitted premium. He said, wouldn't you like it better if you earned it? I said, no, I'd like it better if you gave it to me. And he said, well, too bad, right? So 15 appointments going after your 20,000 a month, 15-second interviews a week that lead to 10 plus packets. You got to get over that threshold of 10 plus packets, right? 10 plus packets per month. The target, here are the targets. The target of doing that for 90 days, and you have to do it for 90, because most people, they get excited for their first 45, they quit between 45 and 60, and they're miserable and they regret what they've done by the time 90 days goes around. That's the natural path. That's not the path we're on. That's not the path you're on. You got to do it for 90 days, no matter what you think you do. No matter what you think, just do, right? The target, you need to find a running partner. Right now, you're in the addition world. It's mostly about you and you pushing for your team. You got to find a running partner, somebody who, when they call, you get a smile on their face. Right now, Jacob, this is what's happening. Everybody just thought about all the people who, when they call, they don't get a smile on their face. I don't want you thinking about them. I want you to think about the one person who fires you up, because when they call, you know you're about to get some business done, some families are going to be protected, and some leaders are going to be developed. That's what you know, right? You're trying to find that running partner, and during that time, so you have to be the running partner you're looking for. It matters what you do when other people aren't looking, because that's gonna determine what your running partner is going to do when other people aren't looking, right? The target: cash flow to fund your war chest to build your business. You got to have cash flow. You can't be doing this with a scarce bank account. When I get to, I'll start my 90-day Madman cycle. No, during your 90-day Madman cycle, you build the cash flow to build your war chest. The target: confidence that you can be successful and others can too, right? You don't need to have the confidence that you can get to the top. You just need the confidence to leave the step you're on and step to the next one, get to the next one, right? And target: you need to train a recruiter. Okay. So those are the 4 targets for your first one. We do that through 15 appointments, 15-second interviews. What you need to make sure of is in your next 90 days, you're building leverage, because if it's always hanging on you, it's always going to be hanging on your mindset, and it's good. It's just not that good yet, right? So get the leverage in order to even it up. You need somebody who's depending on you to become someone you can depend on and to be dependable. You need to understand that the 90-day time is to build focused intensity over time to build that unstoppable momentum, right? And that the smoke of battle is the most valuable thing that you have to give to your business. Your example is absolutely necessary. And here's how I know. I've seen so many people build to the title of AO without ever getting the influence that an agency owner needs to have, because they were trying to take something from their people instead of having so much to give to them. See, you cannot lead from a place of scarcity and live from a place of abundance. It's going to be one or the other. It's going to be one or the other. Either you choose abundance or scarcity, and you got to live that way and work that way, right? So you may be saying, how do I get my list? Well, your phone contacts, right? Your phone contacts. That's going to be your highest conversion. Your clients, you're going to be sitting down with at least 10 clients. Book 15 appointments, get 10 cents a week. Your clients, who do they know? Who could use somebody like you to do this for them, right? Who do they know who's young, sharp, undervalued in the marketplace? That's what you're looking for first and foremost. Somebody who's undervalued in the marketplace, right? Oh yeah, great. You know what I love? I love finding women who are working in organizations where they hit the glass ceiling, because man, that's going to be an A player on my team. I love to see guys who are working underneath the management of an oppressor and a dominator, because I know, let me set that guy free from needing my praise to the point where he's proud of himself and he's going to be able to give that to other people, right? Right. So I'm trying to find people who are undervalued in the marketplace. Talk to your mentor about your exact strategy. Our intention in our whole business will give us whole results. Talk to your mentor about your schedule on a weekly basis so that you can maintain a close ratio on leads, as well as have focused time in your on the recruiting side of this business. Don't try to multitask, otherwise you won't do anything well. Right? If you're trying to write business or do things on the computer while you're recruiting, it's going to be trash. Don't do it. Don't do it. Right? But if in between running appointments, you're doing recruiting calls, heck yeah. Use the energy of the last family you helped to find the next partner that you're going to lock arms with. Right? Because that's, and I don't care if you made the sale or missed the sale. When I missed the sale, I was like, there's somebody who loves it. I just need to find them. When I made the sale, I was like, nobody can stop me, right? Nobody can stop me. And what they don't see is your whole roller coaster. What they do see is it looks pretty good from up here, right? Seems like you have better tools than me to dig out from down here, right? So maybe you're not on your first 90-day blitz. Maybe you're on your second, or maybe you stalled out. Maybe you hit AO with 50,000 with 6 writers, right? Talk about a pathway for backtracking. How about hitting AO with 80,000 with 10 writers, right? How about let's not break out at 120, doing 300,000 in submit. Let's raise that to 500,000. Let's not limp across the minimums, right? Let's go to the next level and set ourselves up. So maybe you're on your second one, or you're ready to restart. And the target for the second one is AO numbers plus 2 on the way to key leader, right? Develop your local market and work in your people's market, right? And help them to get the leverage of their first recruiter and expand your exec team. And you may say, well, I'm not sure I'm ready for all this. I'm not sure that I'm ready to go on this blitz. I can guarantee you are ready. You're just not sure if you have the tools and the motivation necessary to do it. And I promise you, you will only know when you're in it. And when you're in it, someone like you will find what you need. You'll be able to dig it out of the depths, find what you need to stand on your head for 90 days and absolutely make it happen, because that's what it is. It's you getting free from conditions, looking around at conditions and say, where I am is not who I am. I did not come this far to come this far. And I'm going to be the example of getting out and getting financially free that other people can follow. Do what you're going to ask your team to do. And don't be like so many, right? So many people want to have the best before they give their best, right? They want to be rich, right? But they don't want to think like a wealthy person, right? They want to live the dream without building it. This is 90-day blitzes to build the dream. 90-day blitzes to free people from the prison of having to work for their whole life just to be in a place where, like, what is it? Over 65% of people who are over the age of 65 rely on Social Security for 90% of their income, right? That's the natural pathway. We're taking people on the pathway to freedom, right? The 2 to 3 year plan to help them get financially free, right? And listen, don't call your mentor. If you're in this and you already have a team, don't call your mentor and tell them how you're going to go on a 90-day blitz. Don't do that. Call your people. Call your people. Tell them. Be accountable to them. And if you don't do it, you don't deserve to have them. That's it. If you don't do, not get the results, but take the action. If you don't take the action, then you can't really expect them to take the action, right? And one of those people who I was accountable to, and I remain accountable to, because he's a partner, is this next gentleman. This next gentleman has absolutely he's been the guy. He's been the guy. I found him while I was on my last 90-day blitz. It's amazing how you find all the right people at the right times when you're looking for them. I find very few people when I'm not looking for them, Jacob. I don't know how that works, but that seems to be how it works. So I was in a 90-day blitz. And listen, the 90-day blitz isn't about creating 50,000 if you have a team. The last 90-day blitz that I went on, the one when I was able to connect with Jordan, my base shop grew by 50,000. The overall team grew by 375,000. Why? Because your action will inspire people. Your actions, your credibility comes from results, right? So, but this next gentleman has been here for 4 years. He's earned his way up to managing vice president. He's at a 115 now, but not for long. His team is fired up to serve with him, right? Because that's what this is about. It's not how many people you can serve, get to serve you. It's how many people you get to serve with. And this gentleman is a prime example of that. He broke out 2 AOs and 1 agency director, doing $300,000 a month with 50 writers. His excellence in leadership is being built on a foundation of growing character and an unquenchable fire that burns down every obstacle in the way of helping his people get free. That is a truth. That is absolutely what this gentleman is living. He's an example to me. He's a challenge. His life is a challenge to me that I need to keep growing in order to remain relevant as a leader. And he is showing me what it looks like to be better than me. And so I'm fired up for him to break down what his experience has been running these, not just through the metrics, but the hard stuff, right? The hard stuff that really needs to happen, because that's where the changes happen. They change in the heart, and then it's amazing how we see them outside of ourselves. So Jordan, I just want to hand it to you to take it away.
Thanks. I just want to say that I have a ton of just disdain and disappointment, and whoever set this lineup up to have me speak directly after Brian Delaney. We'll talk about that after this, Jacob and Sarah. But anyway, thanks for that, Brian. One of my top goals for this year is just being able to just live up to one of your intros for me, brother. But Jordan Hunt, direct to the one and only Brian Delaney. Will not be long here today. Have a few things. One of the things that really jumped out off the page to me was I had this idea, Jacob, is like, we're probably talking to some people here, out of the, 1,400 people that are on this call right now. And I guarantee you there are some of them that are pretty excited right now about the idea to start a brand new, 90-day blitz whenever but I'm pretty sure that a lot of those people said they were going to start one somewhere around the 1st of January of this year, and they're supposed to be about 60 days into it right now, but here we are 60 days into it, and we're looking to start a new one. And why is that? Why does that continually happen to us, right? If you're seeing that happening in your business, and even in your life, in your relationships, right? Like I say this often, that seasons turn into cycles whenever we fail to learn the lesson that the season was meant to teach us. Right? If we're continually getting back to this same place, if we're continually getting back to this same area in the same conjuncture, and I'm the one common denominator in all these things, what is the lesson? What is the lesson that I am failing to learn from all this? And if we don't solve that, it doesn't matter how motivated you get. I'm telling you, like, I can, I love speaking and inspiring and motivating people. If you ever sat in on one of my team's live overviews, like we feed off of that stuff, Jacob. But more importantly than that, like, it's not just time. It's not going to be different just because there's a movement of the clock on the wall, right? But there has to be a movement of the mind. We have to quit quitting. We have to quit quitting. Brian says this all the time, that our lack of self-belief sabotages our activity's ability to get a result. You win this business in 90-day blitzes. You do. You can drastically change your business. But how do you win the 90-day blitz? You have to break that thing down. 90-day blitzes aren't made up of months, Jacob. They aren't made up of weeks. I would argue that they actually aren't even made up of days, but they are made up of moments. A bunch of moments where we get the opportunity to make decisions. Right? There is a moment between stimulus and response, and in that moment, there is freedom, and we get to decide right there in that moment the kind of person that we want to be. This isn't about doing, and this isn't about going on this 90-day stretch. It's not about going 90 days without getting anything wrong. It's not about that. We're not asking you to be perfect. Perfection is actually the lowest standard that we could hold ourselves to because it doesn't exist. But we can improve each and every single day. I believe that. I believe that, Brian. I believe that my life is evidence of that, right? If we want new realities, if we want new identities, that's going to require new evidence. And James Clear teaches this, is that every single action that we take, we are casting a vote for the person that we want to become. And we do not need a unanimous decision. We only need the majority. And that's the problem. Most people think that, man, I just missed the mark today. I'm going to throw in the towel on this thing. But I encourage you, just get back on get back on that horse and saddle it up, right? So how do we stop the cycle that we're just talking about there? How do we stop that cycle, right? How small, and in my opinion, I think if you want to go big, you have to start small. How small, how clear, and how exact can I define wins at different stages in this business, right? It's not about being perfect. Right. Some people, if you're already running 15 appointments, why not go up to 20? If you're already running 20, up that a little bit more, whatever that looks like. But if you're not getting to 15, that's a clear win to me. Right. More important than having big goals in this business is having clear ones. When we're making plans, we need to think big. When we're making progress, we need to think small. Your progress in this business is more important than your current position. Your trajectory is more important than your current position. Focus on that. Focus on the trend. Are you getting better? Are you improving versus where am I currently at right now? Because if you have good trajectory, all you need is time. How do you get good trajectories? You get good habits. If you have good habits, time is your ally. If you have bad habits, time becomes your enemy. 90-day blitzes are hard, and I want to make that really, really clear. But the price that you pay to win in this business is going to be infinitely smaller than the price that you pay if you don't. The price that you're going to pay to win over the course of this next 90 days, it's going to be hard, Jacob. I can guarantee you that we're not pitching this as easy. If you continually get people that are walking away and quitting on your team, it's because like you're trying to recruit people to something that's easy and not something that's worth it. If we tell you it's easy, we're always going to get weak, and we don't want weak people. The price that you pay to win at this 90-day blitz will cost you a whole lot less than what it would cost you if you don't do it. And you cannot negotiate and execute at the same time. Can't do it. Can't do it. Go ahead and count the cost up front. Understand it's going to take some struggle. It's going to take some hardship. You're not going to get out of that. And we're not trying to tell you that there is an easier way. There is no lighter load. You can just get bigger shoulders. But this is tough, but you can do tough things, right? Accept the suffering and the sacrifice on the front end. You know what? Whenever I go to the gym, like we accept the fact. We accept the fact that there is going to be struggle whenever we get in there, but it's the struggle that is making us stronger. I want to read this quote. It was powerful. I heard this week. It says this. It says, your ability to create your desired reality is determined by your willingness to experience its opposite. Saving money will make you feel broke, but it's actually making you wealthy. Learning something new will make you feel dumb, but it's actually making you stronger. Or learning something new makes you feel dumb, but it's actually making you smarter. Working out makes you feel weak when it's actually making you strong. Having a strict schedule makes you feel restricted, but it's actually freeing you up. Going on a 90-day Madman cycle or 90-day blitz will make you feel restricted, but I promise you what it is doing, Brian, is it is freeing you up. That's what I found. I want to be really, really clear, like I said earlier, that this is in no way easy, and it is going to be tough, right? I had a Madman cycle for a full year whenever I first started, and I'm not telling you that you have to do that. I'm just telling you that you can't expect to get the results that I got if you aren't willing to do it. You don't have to do it, right? I wanted to know what's the biggest I can build it, what's the most amount of people that I can take on, right, Brian? Like, I didn't come here, man, like I came here for something big that was going to not just change my life, but all the people around me. Anyone that was willing to get on this thing, I wanted to change their lives too. And what I know is that it was really, really hard that first year, but it wasn't nearly as hard, Brian. None of the work that I've done here has been as hard, man, as me being able to miss my son's baseball games every single weekend when I was selling cars, Jacob. I guarantee you you've gone through some hard stuff here, man, but I guarantee you none of it was as hard, man, as you missing family time at your old job there at the bar. It's hard, but it's not that hard. We get to choose that hard. One is temporary, one is permanent. One is temporary, one is permanent. If you don't risk anything, you in turn risk everything. The biggest risk that we can take is to risk nothing. And if you came here with nothing, understand that is a blessing because you have absolutely nothing to lose. And where you are is nobody's fault, and it's only your responsibility to get yourself out of it. I'm the problem and I'm the solution. And that's what we want to encourage you with. We want to empower you with that. That's all I have, Jacob. Thank you guys so much for the opportunity to share.
That's all you have. I've got like 42 pages of notes. Oh my goodness, dude. That's so good. I can't write fast enough. I'm gonna have to listen to the recording, but man, so good. And there's no question as to why you're running to the top of the company now and working on that last promotion. And knowing that you're the type of person to not make that the last stop. You know, you're going to continue to push beyond that and through that, and you're going to continue to impact the lives of so many others as you're doing now. But man, so blessed to know you and to have you in this business, helping just keep this culture moving forward, buddy. So y'all have learned kind of like you learned, okay, why would we want to do this, right? And what should I be thinking through this, right? And now you're going to actually learn the X's and O's, right? Of some checklists for you of things to keep an eye on, right? And no better person I can think of to share that with you than Teacher Reinecke. That's what we call her. She used to be a teacher and was making $30,000 a year, and just struggling, you know, to get by. And she thought that was going to be a career path, and she got passed up for a principal promotion multiple times. And I want to shake whoever's hand it was who told her the next thing that I'm about to tell you, because I don't. It crushed her. I'm, you know, they said that, well, you're a good leader, just don't think that you're the type of leader that can lead women well. And it crushed her for a while, you know, when somebody tells you that. And to see her now, not just leading a massive team, but a team that is full of powerful, powerful women is awesome, because she's a powerful woman. And she came in here March of 2020, and I knew right away that I had somebody I needed to get to know real well. She had come in here, she had moved on from teaching, became a coach. She had been successful in another business before. They changed their structure a little bit. She had to change her direction. And when I got on the phone with her and realized that she went to take her licensing test 3 times and she couldn't get the test taken, she showed up, nobody's there because of COVID, right? She's like, please let me in. The janitor, she's like, I just want to take a test. But the way she handled that and responded to challenges, I knew she was going to win here, because I knew she was going to face challenges. And I knew she would have to do hard things. And she was someone that I could work with, right? We're not going to freak out about it. We're going to get through it. And man, did you ever. 2020, your first 6 months in this business, you try to get here in March. You didn't write your first policy to July because you got licensed. 153,000 in production for your whole agency in 2020 with 4 writers. You hired Jamie Susie, who is a superstar from day one. Haverly Erskines, I believe, and Julie Sarah made up 153,000. 2021, your first full year, almost 1.4 million. Broke out Jamie Susie. You're now an agency director. And we already said now 56 unique writers last month, 17 new, growing like crazy. And those say a lot about what you're doing, but you're just incredible. Your ratios, it's not just that, okay, we're just throwing a bunch of people against the wall. Your recruits to new writer ratio, 60% of the people you recruit become a new writer. 67% of those people stay around and are a unique writer. It's absolutely incredible what you're doing. And I know you're going to give Jamie a shout out because she's a big part of that too. And just grateful for you. You're a superstar and you're a leader of leaders. You did earn one of 6 leadership awards that I gave out last year. And those are earned. Those are earned, not given. We love you. We're glad to have you here and have you share with everyone what they should do to implement this.
Gosh, thank you, Jacob. I should have proofread that so you didn't make me cry, and I could have crossed a few of those things out. Thank you for that introduction. And I am so grateful to be direct to Jacob Pogue. It was through a referral. I would have never known him if it wasn't for that. And I cannot imagine my life without him, at this point. Been here, well, March 1st was the day I said yes, couldn't take the test. And I literally did track down the janitor and like, can you let me in that building? And he wouldn't. So I'm glad that I didn't get carted off to, jail or something at Pitt State University trying to take that test. But thank you. And I get to follow all of you, which were all phenomenal. And I text Jamie as we're talking, I was like, and I'm talking about Hamburger Helper, like literally I have it sitting here. So I'm here to bring the real to the 90-day checklist today. Sarah Reineke, and I'm here just to talk about like, what does this truly look like? If you're, I'm a mom of 3 kids, 19, 14, and 10, literally putting in 5 apps, trying to get to the play on time before she went on stage. Like 90-day Blitz is for real, right? You've got kids, you've got spouses, you've got ball games, like all the things. So for me, I had to prepare my mind a little bit, like logistically of what that looks like. And I'll be honest with you, all those accolades are great and the awards are great and good job, Sarah Reineke. But I found myself like naturally falling back into my 4th gear towards the end of last year. I fell out of a habit of my Miracle Morning stuff because I was riding on that nice leadership award and, good job, Sarah Reineke. And it sounds great, but I slipped into some complacency. I completely did. And I'm always the first to be like, what can I do better? What can I do more of? And yes, Jamie Susie is phenomenal. We started this thing together. It's like partnering with Usain Bolt, and trying to keep up with her is, a feat in itself. I'm like the girl running behind, trying to keep up with my girl. Right. And she's awesome. And we've worked this thing together. And I'm a big picture leader. I love leadership. I love all the books and all the things. But I had to get real strategic about those nuts and bolts. And even though I didn't want to go down to think about the nuts and bolts, it's not where my forte is. But I needed to, right? So I needed a push, talk to Jacob. I'm like, I need some structure. I need something. We started talking about a 90-day blitz, and I'm like, I need to back myself into a corner. And so then we did a training on his call, and I'm like, way to back myself into a corner to train everybody. And then he asked me to do this today. I'm like, great, let's share this with 1,400 people. So now there's a corner that I'm backed into, but there's no denying it that Sarah Reineke's in a 90-day blitz, right? So I have work to do, but I had prep to do first. I had to prepare my mind. And I had to really, I've heard some questions over here, what is a 90-day Madman, right? It's a sprint, and a sprint is not meant to be forever. You know, Jordan, you say you did it for a year, like that's awesome. It's, you know, I'll put you with Jamie Susie, like you two, same boat. You guys can run together that same pace, 90 days, like at a time, like do it at a time. It's not meant to be forever. But I had to think about a few questions. If you want to write these down, what am I willing to pause for right now for 90 days? Some committee work. I was asked to be on a couple of local committees that I really would like to be a part of, but I was like, not right now, right? Organizing closets, a vacation. Literally, I said yes to this. And the next day, my best friend said, hey, do you want to go to a beach house, Rosemary, in 2 weeks? House is paid for. We'll go down there and hang with my daughter for a senior trip. And I'm like, I just said to the world, I'm on a 90-day blitz and saying no to things. That is so fun. So I said, no, it's not what I wanted to do, but I had already, committed to this. What are you willing to delegate? You moms out there, like we have all the things. I say, I just need one wife, just one, I just need one to have dinner ready when I come out of this office. I don't have one. So I've got to delegate some things, but I have able-bodied kids. I have an awesome husband. I've got a mom that's local. I can delegate some things. Ordering groceries. Sam's came 2 hours ago. My son got it. He put it all away for me. Like I can delegate. Third is, what am I willing to stop? I get up at 4:30 in the morning to work out. I'm not willing to give that up, but I get real tired at 2 or 3 o'clock. Like, okay, I can give up naps. I can give up sleeping in on a snow day. I can give up cocktails during the week because that'll make me more sluggish in the morning. Like, what am I willing to stop? I can do that. And what should I be ready to overcome? I think this is really important because before you start that marathon, okay, where's the steep hill? Where's the bumpy roads? Where's the long pause between water breaks, right? So here are things that I think you should acknowledge. That 30 to 45 day mark is going to be hard and you're going to want to quit. You should probably even go in your calendar and be like, I'm probably going to want to quit, but I'm not today. Go ahead and write it in your calendar because by then you've hired writers. They're not writing yet. 2 have probably quit. Maybe that's a chargeback time. You've done the work, but you're not seeing all the full reward of what you did. So go ahead and name it, but tell yourself you're not going to quit. Just write it in your calendar. Probably expect some diminishing belief because that happens in this business. It happens for me from time to time. Jacob's talked me off plenty of ledges. So is Jamie. Exhaustion. You're going to get tired. I told Jared this morning, I was like, I'm kind of tired already. He's like, this is like day 3. Like, you can't be tired yet. I was like, I'll be fine, but I'm kind of tired. Last night was exhausting. Stopping too soon. Tell yourself you're not going to be that 92% that probably will, if we're honest. Family pressure. I told my parents last weekend, I'm going to do this 90-day blitz. And my mom said, well, what's new? You work all the time anyway. Okay. I just let that go. But you know what? Later she messaged me and said, hey, I'm proud of you. I'm going to bring you an extra casserole, help with dinners. Right. So there's family pressures that may not understand what you're doing, but know that you're doing it anyway. And you know what's best for your family and your retirement. Right. So just prepare yourself. And non-negotiable events in your calendar. Is there a wedding coming up? Like what do you have that's non-negotiable that you're going to have to work around? So think about that. And the last question is, what am I willing to commit to? Are you committing to CEO time before 9 a.m. or 9 p.m. instead of, responding to those emails at 2 p.m., respond to those emails after work, right? So CEO time can be smashed outside of your workday. Willing to have intentional time blocking on your weekends before your week starts for that next week, committing to 2,500 weeks minimally, or what Brian gave you some great metrics. Are you committing to 15 appointments, committing to 10 interviews? What are you committing to? Commit means commit, right? Getting up early because that's what successful people do. Do you know one successful person that doesn't get up early and use that morning time to get more stuff done? I don't know a single one. I dare you to find one, right? So I think the way I wrap my head around a 90-day run is how many 120 days can I accomplish in 90 days? This is Jamie and I do this all the time. We send a message. Today was a 120 day. because that's where we're headed. And we want to act like a 120 way before we are one. So I will give you my definition of what could be included in a 120 day. Okay. 120 day, I probably put in an app or two, or maybe 3. Last night, 5. I don't mean to brag, but the night before I did this, put in 5 last night. I was like, yes, I did. Right. So putting in an app or 2 always feels good. Maybe you hired an agent or 2, done some hiring. A new writer has popped up, got a yellow bar. We love yellow bars. You've mentored a couple of agents. That always fills my cup to do that, to help others be successful, like you talked about, guys. Maybe you plugged into a really great huddle that just filled your cup. You've sent out a few gratitude messages. That always makes my mindset be in the right place. Send out a few of those associated with someone awesome. Maybe your schedule went just like you planned. That always feels really good. But at the end of the day, you're like, nailed it, right? And you left it all on the line. And you know it's a 120 day, because when you go to bed, you're like, that was a real good day. And you're excited to send your partner in crime. It was a 120 day. So the more 120 days that you can connect together in these 90 days, you're not going to lose, right? So 2 in a row, Monday and Tuesday of this week, feels great. You're going to go to bed more energized than whenever you woke up in the morning, because you were gaining back that awesome energy by new hires and helping families and doing all the right things and helping people get what they want for a living, which is literally what we do, right? So you know why to do this, you know why it's important. And guys, at the end of this, you're creating your story. I've heard Hayden Berger talk about his 100 apps in 100 days. I mean, he's super proud of that. And he should be. Like, he nailed it, right? Jamie Susie has grown 100,000 in 5 months. She owns that. No one can take that story from her, right? So what you're creating right now is your story, you know, your belt buckle, your brownie sash, that you're like, oh yeah, I did a 90-day run. You're hearing these guys have these stories. You want to have that story too, so you can inspire other people that you're going to be hiring, whether it's during this 90-day run or a year from now. And how you're going to feel at the end of it. This is one thing that I would really encourage you to do today, is think about how you're going to feel at the end of the 90 days, because it's one or the other. And some people are motivated by the, you know, if we're talking about, you know, dieting, eating right, the bikini, like, are they motivated by that? Or are they motivated by, I don't want to have diabetes and go down that way? So are you motivated by the prize? Or are you motivated by the stick? Kind of think about who you are. I've got 2 kids that will run for the carrot and 1 that'll run from, you know, punishment. So we're all wired differently. Think about that 90 days. At the end of it, if you're making 15, 20K a month, if you are a key leader, you've slingshot twice, if you're feeling like $1 million at the end of that, picture how that feels, how your bank account feels, how your spouse feels about you in this business, how that vacation felt whenever you booked it and you paid for it with cash, right? It feels a whole lot sweeter whenever you're doing that. Also take the time to envision what happens if you don't. If you coast the next 90 days, how that will feel, because there will be people around you, like Sarah Reineke, who's put herself in a corner to have to do this for 90 days, that's going to feel really good at the end of the 90 days because we did the work. And then you're going to have ones that didn't. You want to be in the group that is the ones that did, but feel both. Take a second and feel how both is going to feel for you. I made a decision, guys. I went to Cabo and got to hang with Marshall, got to hang with Jacob and Ryan Miller and Ziller and all these awesome people, right? And then just the same time as conference is happening, I left there going, this company is in massive momentum. You can feel it, just like they were talking about. In August, at the end of 2022, I don't want my story to be like, cool, Sarah, you coasted. You were like in 3rd, 4th gear and you coasted along. Your numbers look okay on leaderboards. Like, that's not my story. And if you're not going to leverage what's going on in this company, you're crazy. You don't want the end of the story when the company's growing like it is. The wake is already there. All we have to do is go get it, right? So don't let that be your story, guys. So for my 90-day prep checklist, here it is, what I would recommend for you. 1, prep your family. Tell them, and hey, I'm going to be really busy for the next 90 days. Here are things that I need from you. And I was very specific with my kids. My 19-year-old is like, Mom, you said 90 days, one more time. I'm like, get used to it. I'm going to be saying it a lot. You'll be glad, in 10 years from now, you'll thank me for this 90-day blitz, help with the dishes, right? So I've been very clear with them of what that looks like. I asked my mom for help. She's going to bring over a meal a couple times a week, right? Like, ask your family for real help of what this will look like for 90 days. 2, make a list of personal things that can wait. Organizing my closet. I walk in the garage and I'm like, this needs cleaned. I look in my closet, I'm like, these shoes are unorganized. That can wait. So make a little list of things that can wait, that aren't that important. This is way more important. You don't want to look back and be like, but I organized my closet, right? That's not going to make you proud. I think it's important to have a 90-day Blitz notebook just for this. Like, get a fresh one out, name it 90-day, all of your notes from your calls, everything you're doing, everybody you hire, you're going to look back at that notebook, just like they're talking about, and be like, yeah, this is where all the magic happened. Like, let all that magic be in one notebook. So name that. Find your accountability partner, but I will ask you, be a good partner. Don't say yes unless you're willing to be a good partner, because you can get fired from being a partner. And I encourage you, if your partner isn't great, fire him, find a different one, because don't get drugged down by anyone. So before you say yes, think through it. Let your mentor know you're committed, but don't let them know unless you are. Period. Like, make a big decision and let them know. And then also let your team know. And Lord knows mine does, because we talked about on the Pogue call and this one. Everybody knows Sarah Reinecke's committed. Check your standing lead orders. I think Brandon mentioned that. Like, you don't want to go into this without resources, like a lot of resources. I've upped my A leads in all kinds of different directions. They're coming from all directions here in the Reinecke Agency. Get your schedule set, and for the rest of the month, own it, block out those times, commit to those time blocks. Successful people get up early. Next, look up your numbers for the last 90 days, so you know what to beat, right? Go back and look. So just like Jordan was talking about, if you've been doing 5K a week, bump it to 7,500. If you've been doing 2,500, bump it to 5. Go back and look at your data. I had agents that came to me and they're like, man, when I look back, man, I have a lot of places that I can improve this, I can improve that, my lead flow. Look and see where you were, so you know where you're headed. Make a list of where you will/can be in 90 days, and what would be really awesome to be in 90 days. Here are some factors you can choose to track in your 90-day Blitz notebook. How many hires you're going to make, your investment in leads, how many writers, how many new writers, your APV. I love that 50K in 90 days. I'm all over that. How many families protected, because that's the most important thing we do, and how many 120 days. And I would recommend in your calendar, when you have a 120 day, put a big fat Sharpie marker 120 at the bottom of it. Count those so you can look back and see. Guys, picture it, decide which way you're going to go. Are you going to be at the end of this 90 days and be like, yeah, this is my 90-day notebook. It's going to be framed and printed in gold and kept the rest of my life as something I'm super proud of? Or am I going to be surrounded by people who have that? Those are really your two options. But prepare your mind, prepare your family, and get your mind right, and decide what can wait. You know, I think is a really big piece to that. So make a decision, let your mentor know, get that checkoff list that I just gave you done. Find your accountability partner, commit to them, make a decision. And this starts Friday. You know, this is a new day, it's a new week, it's a new month, and a new 90-day Blitz, and which leads to a new life, right? And so nothing's more important than that. That's all I got.
Woo! So good, man. So good from everybody today. Hamburger helper, 90 days. We can eat anything for 90 days, right? So,
I introduced my kids to Hamburger Helper. I was like, you know what? I had this as a kid. You're going to survive on Hamburger Helper. I got beef. We got boxes. We can make easy meals.
Just no tuna helper. My cousin's the only person in this world that likes tuna helper. I'm like, no, dude. Man, I love that, Sarah, Jordan, Brian, everything. Jordan, I love when you talk about moments, man. Like this next 90 days simplified. It's doing more to get more, right? Brian gave you the metrics, 15 appointments, 15 interviews, right? Which you're looking for 10 sits a week. Like if you do that, you can't fail. 10 sits a week, 10 completed contracts a month, right? So 15 set, 10 sat, 15 interviews booked, 10 completed for the month. You can't fail. Here's what I'll tell you. Some of you are already doing more than that, right? So if you're doing more than that, take the last 90 days, what you did in the last 90 days, add them up, divide them by 3. That's going to give you an average, right? So you're going to see my average production was $27,000 a month. Your goal over the next 90 is beating that each month. My average interviews per week are 25 already, Jacob. Your goal is to do more than that, right? So if everyone can just come out of this summit leveling up, your business can change. You're going to identify some players on your team this next 90 days that might be here 9 years from now, that might just be the reason that so many other people's lives change. Jordan, I love how you talk about moments, man. It's in this moment. You have a choice. You have a choice today in this moment to change everything. It doesn't matter where you're at, Jordan. You said that. And I love that because it doesn't. Yesterday doesn't matter. The day before, January 1, when we didn't start this, doesn't matter. But this moment today on Wednesday, it matters. Are we going to talk to our family tonight and say, I'm changing our life right now? Right now, I'm going to take the next step towards the rest of our life. You can do it. And we hope you do, because man, is it worth it. And people need this company. People need these products. People need people like this in their life to speak positivity and encouragement and hope. People need Symmetry Financial Group. And we need you to go find them. Brian, we appreciate the time, man. Love you guys.
Back at you.
Phenomenal. B-Dubs, I'm not going to say a word.
Me neither.
Y'all have a great week.
Other than we're adding a 90-day challenge to the Summit activate phase pretty soon. So be on the lookout.
Oh, that's good, man. Thank you, guys.
Sarah,
Ivy.
Jordan, Jacob, man, Delaney, just phenomenal. Appreciate the energy that you poured into this. So many lives will be changed from what was discussed today, and so much challenge was brought with also some love and some hope. So just appreciate you guys so much and everything that you brought today. It really showed through the preparation and the heart that you put behind it. So much love, guys.
Boom. Love you guys. Have a great day. Great week.